So to back up what you said, this is from Rolf Dengen. Sex is concentrated within a small yet sexually active group of people. While the number of young men who reported having no sexual experience is increasing, there are also men who have more sex partners than ever before. In 2002, the most sexually active top 20% of American heterosexual men had 12 lifetime sex partners, while the top 5% had 38.
Jesus.
10 years later, the most sexually active top 20.
Hold on, that's 2002. Who here? You live here in Las Vegas. How many of you know a dude who's been with 38 girls? Raise your hand.
Oh, 100%.
Raise your hand. Don't, all of you, what are you doing? Girl, you were with a rapper today who had 30. How many of you know one dude?
It's still early in the night.
How many of you guys know how many of you know more? Time out. How many of you know more than 5 guys you know that have been with more than 38 women? Raise your hand if you know more than 5. You would you work at a Fit Club LV. Raise your fucking hand.
I know 20.
You're in LA.
Okay, so you know 5 guys at least that have been with at least 38 partners. Go ahead.
But it depends on what state you're in.
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
I think city. No, it doesn't.
Continuing.
Keep going.
10 years later, the most sexually active top 20% now report 15 lifetime sex partners, and the top 5% of men reported 50 lifetime.
So what's happened is the number
partners.
of men with no sex is increasing, and the number of men at top are getting even more sex.
Yes.
What?
Yes. From 38 to 50 in 10 years. And by the way, that's only 2002 to 2000.
You need to watch out with this misinformation that you're spreading, because it almost sounds like there's a crisis in dating. But watch out with that misinformation.
Yes. And if you'd like the links to any of these, I'm more than happy to provide them for you to give to you. But unlike some other people, the distribution of the number of sex partners among heterosexual men was skewed already, but in just 10 years, the distribution became even more skewed. During the same time, there was no such change in the number of sexual partners for heterosexual women.
Wait a second. So women are having the same number of sex partners, but there's a bunch of guys fucking more women. What does that indicate? What does that seem like?
Sex is
Drake?
No.
Drake?
I do not like Drake.
Big Mo, I need that sound drop.
Sex, I like Drake. Thank God there's another person.
Forget whether you like Drake. Do you think Drake fucks a lot of women?
Oh, he fucked him. He has a child with a porn star.
Okay, thank you. My point. That's my point. My point is, what's happened is
porn stars can have families.
What I'm saying is, women are not.
I know.
Women are not distributing their sexual acts. So what I'm saying is, men, it's going like this. It's like nothing. Average is like 5, and then once we get up here, we're going up to like what did he say before? 50?
Yeah.
Okay, we're at 50. That's 10 years ago. Yes. Let's catch up to today.
Okay.
Let's see what happens.
Okay. So here we go. No sex.
I'm sure everything evens out in 2023.
It stops right here.
I'm sure Instagram had no effect on any of this.
Right.
I'm sure Instagram didn't help a certain group of men fuck a ton of women. I'm sure that's not what happened. Okay, let's go ahead.
Let me put the last.
Shout out to Dan Bilzerian. I'm sure none of this affected anybody.
I will now put the final coffin nail in the coffin. Sex is concentrated within a small yet sexually active group of people. In one study, it was reported that 5% of the population with the highest number of vaginal sex acts, we're not talking about Hummers now, okay, accounted for more vaginal sex acts than the bottom 50% of the population with the lowest number of sex acts.
Guys, understand, that means the top 5% of guys were literally fucking as much as the bottom 50%.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Like all combined, that's what was happening.
I hope they're all using protection.
Does that
It sounds like a lot of STDs.
Does that sound like but does that sound like a normal distribution to you, or does that sound like there's a few guys getting a lot of sex? What does that sound like?
You guys are getting a lot of sex.
Man, better watch out. Sounds like a crisis. Better stop giving this information, bro.
Yeah. And again, I'll be happy to supply the links to all of these because people think we don't have them. Okay, now this is from Rob Henderson. This is from a New York Times. This is a different study. More than a quarter. This is the modern one. More than a quarter of Americans hadn't had sex even once in the past year. That figure includes, and by the way, this is not 2020. This is from February of this year. That figure includes almost 30% of men under 30, a figure that has tripled since 2008. In the 1990s, half of Americans were having sex weekly or more. That figure is now under 40%.
What about women?
That's for women.
Because when's the last time everybody here has had sex?
We can go around the table
with
now,
myself.
if you'd like.
Does that count?
Then
Did you get paid for it? That's what. Then it counts.
As soon as Sydney left my apartment last night, the millisecond Sydney left my apartment last night. magically sex happened. I don't know what happened.
I said, bye, guys, and they ran away.
Okay. Oh, this is a really good one. The okay, lady, I'm going to ask you guys. You're looking at my stats. I'm about to ask you something. You know the answer. You're disqualified.
Yeah.
All right, ladies, men between the ages of 18 and 20. What's the percentage do you think are virgins between 18 and 20 right now this year? Percentage.
Not a lot.
Percentage.
Like
Probably more than there has
maybe
been
like
ever. They're probably just
50%.
fucking pussies.
Percentage of
sitting,
men
at
who
home
are
on the-
virgins.
Is it 18 to 20 or 18 to 30?
18 to 20.
18
Those
to 20.
the 2 years right there.
I would say, like 70%.
70?
You think are virgins?
I would say
Yeah.
50.
50.
Probably, because I was listening to Date Psych talk about this, and it was like, it goes 18, 19, 20, you're in the 50th percentile, and then by the time you get to 29, 30, you're like at 5 or
You're
8%.
saying now, like
Yes.
now.
20%.
Yeah, I would say like 50%.
And by the way, the guys who argue with us, we're not disagreeing that like as you get older, you're less likely to be a virgin. That's not the point. The point is we're comparing it to previous decades, and there is an epidemic that's happening, and the epidemic does.
Oh no, we're going to correlate this with something even better than that.
But it coincides with the advent of social media and the cell phone, specifically the iPhone.
Oh, I got one better though. So the 50% of men 18 to 20 are virgins right now. 50. So half of them are virgins right
That's what I
now.
thought,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So if your sexual prime is 18 to 22 as a guy, if that's your actual sexual market value peak, you guys got to get them numbers up, man. Those are fucking rookie numbers, man. Get that shit up. But see, that's what I mean when we're talking about guys who are older, who have matured into their peak potential years.